You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Universal Tractioning Systems, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Everest Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Chiro Matchmakers, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Bax Max. Let's hustle. Hey guys, Jim Chester here. This is a DC to B episode with Johnny Reuter, and he is coming in from Marietta, which is where Life College Chiropractic is, and I'm coming in from Grand Junction, which is in the Grand Valley on the western slope, which I like to say it's where I moved to hear the birds chirping because no one else lives here, and I got that laptop lifestyle. And today's episode is brought to us by the UTS, the Universal Traction System. If you guys know anything about chiropractic biophysics, reach out to Dr. Jason Yeager out there in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he will sort you guys out. I'm going to put the web address floating on the bottom of our screen here so you guys can go to utsspine.net and reach out to Dr. Jason Yeager, and he will help you get integrated into the chiropractic biophysics world. And with no further ado, I want to welcome DC to be Johnny Reuter on to the show.
Hey, Jim. How are you today?
Dude, as you know, off the camera, I was just lighting fires, right?
That's right. That's right. You're always on fire, Jim. And I appreciate that about you. You keep this profession moving in the right direction.
Well, you know that one of the things we have to do is keep on spreading the good message of chiropractic. And one of the tenets of what we do is we keep the chiropractic messaging growing outside the four walls of chiropractic. And if you guys are watching this right now from the early stages, please hit that share button. If you guys have any questions for Johnny or myself, please hit in the chat there, comment to us and ask us any questions that you might have. But first things first, we're going to talk to you about some of the really cool, unique things that you're doing. And one of those things is I'm supporting you because of your shirt today, and it's called The Legendary Chiropractor. So tell us about The Legendary Chiropractor.
Absolutely, Jim. Yeah. So The Legendary Chiropractor is this platform. It's an online virtual platform. I like to call it a virtual one-stop shop for everything chiropractic. It's got a free mentoring and coaching program that students are a part of, doctors are a part of, and anybody in chiropractic can become a mentee and learn from people. The legendarychiropractor.com really came from an idea, to give you a little bit of a background on it. It came from an idea seeing a gap between how students were kind of treated and how doctors were treated. And I wanted to do something to mix and mingle that transition period of becoming a doctor, right? So really taking all of the knowledge that you learn and being pounded in your brain with throughout school, and then taking all of that and actually applying as a doctor, and starting to follow people, encouraging people to self-market, to brand themselves. And really it was to design a platform to create a less wicked transition from student to doctor. And that's really what the legendarychiropractor.com does.
Well, one of the things I really enjoyed most about what you've done is you have been relentless, and you've just stuck with it. And a lot of times people get good ideas and they start movements and then they just give up on it. So tell me, why have you stuck with it?
Yeah, I honestly, it's been a journey, and it's come with failures. It's come with its challenges for sure, and challenges arise every single day. With the platform, without the platform, it doesn't matter. And I'm still in school, so with trying to build up the Legendary Chiropractor platform and online community, it's been a heck of a time. But to stick with it and have grit, that's why I got into chiropractic, right? That's why I'm here. Without adversity, there wouldn't be chiropractic. And so it's pretty important to realize that. But to fight the good fight, where you see a gap and you have a solution for it, or you think you have a solution for it, just keep pounding away at it until people start listening and people start seeing what you're doing. And that to me is really important. But I also look up to a lot of people. I look up to you. I look up to Dr. Ed Osborne. I look up to Chris Zano and Josh Axe and David Toohill, all these guys that are doing massive things in chiropractic via social media. That's important. That's huge to me and to us and this profession. But I mean, everything comes with its challenges, and everything comes with hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. But honestly, if you're truly passionate about it, like we say with chiropractic all the time, you're never going to work a day in your life. I put in hours and hours and hours into my website instead of studying like I probably should be doing. But I put hours into my website because for a specific reason, because I see the need for it. I see that people want it, that people are asking for this type of platform. And I really, that's kind of why I stuck with it, is because I didn't get good feedback right away. But the more you push, the more you start marketing yourself, the more you start putting your name out there, and you're willing to take the denials, right? You're willing to accept no as an answer and say, okay, that person wasn't for me. And I'm going to go to the next person who is a little bit bigger of a fish and ask them about it. Right. So that's kind of how it goes. And yeah, that's why I stuck with it, Jim.
Well, it's been really inspiring, and we have a sponsor on with us with Imaging Services. If you guys are looking for X-ray, reach out to Mike Tokash, and he will serve you guys up with the best imaging out there. And I just want to say thank you to Mike. And they are very much in conjunction with our sponsor up here, Jason Yeager, and the Universal Traction System. We want to make sure that we are making impact in people's lives. So thank you, Mike, for supporting us, keeping free speech alive and well in the chiropractic space. But next thing I want to ask you is, I met you at CalJam. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah. Oh man. So CalJam was really, really cool. And it was powerful too. Not only because it's CalJam and there's, thousands of doctors and students in the same room and all, talking and preaching the same message. And it's just incredible. But it was truly powerful because we got to go for free. Myself and 3 buddies of mine from chiropractic school actually won tickets through Dr. Brad Glowacki. So like through the New Patient Maven and Elements of the Close, I mean, the guy is a giver. And I couldn't have been more honored and humbled to be at that CalJam, to experience that with you, with the audience. It was unbelievable. It's an experience that Billy D puts on a show that, I mean, I don't think many can do, if anyone else.
Yeah. So tell me what it was like when you got a chance to put palm to palm with people at that event, and you got a chance to meet some of the people that you were mentioning.
Yeah. So that's also the thing too, right? With building a platform and getting your name out there, people have no idea who you are until you go up and you shake their hand and you start talking to them. And I came up to you. I was like, Jim, hey man, how you doing? And I had never met you in person. I had no idea, but I've been following you we've been friends on Facebook for 4 years. I think we just got a notification the other day. Like, that's a long time. And we had never met in person, but I'm friends with a lot of people. I started, in undergrad, I was in a pre-chiropractic program. So I was really, really, I guess, dipped, quote, from a very early stage, from a very, younger age, I guess. And so I started following all these people. Billy D, I think I've been friends with him for like 6 years on Facebook. And I've only been in chiropractic school for just over 2.5. So that goes to show, like, I've been following you guys for a long time, but to shake people's hands, introduce yourself, tell them what you're about, tell them what you're for and what you stand for, and that you agree with them and you're on the same path. That's when you make friends. That's when you make relationships. And that's when bridges connect, and that's powerful stuff. And CalJam is the perfect place to do that, because all the big names are there, and everyone, again, who preaches what you preach on a daily basis is in the same room. You can't possibly talk to someone that disagrees with you, because everyone pretty much agrees on that stage and off that stage and in the lobby. So
yeah, that leads me into the next questioning for you. is this is actually a really amazing interview because you have actually taken a platform of yourself and started hosting other people. And just for clarity, we didn't know who was hosting who today. So I've done 700 interviews almost at this point. So this is my zone. So the next question for you is to ask you, what advice would you give to other students? And maybe they're your brothers and sisters, but this is a question for all chiropractic students. What advice, if you had, a sit down lunch with somebody and it was 15 minutes, what would you tell them?
That's a tough question, but I think I have a decent answer. And my answer would be, practice your art, know how to adjust people, know how to move a bone. Or do whatever technique you're doing, know how to do it very well. The second piece of advice would be, speaking on the platform aspect of things, start branding yourself, start mixing and mingling with the right people who align with you. Get rid of these toxic relationships that aren't, producing anything for you or providing anything for you. It's only holding you back. And when you really step into branding and marketing and sales, and you start understanding the business aspect of yourself, it becomes very powerful. So I would say those two things for sure. In 15 minutes, Jim, I could talk for a long time. So 15 minutes is pretty short, but those are the two major things that I would definitely say to a new student. For sure.
So make sure you can deliver the goods, guys, and make sure that if you're watching this, you're sharing this so everybody gets that bit of advice from Johnny. One of the things I'd really like to discuss with you as well is you decided to take the step forward and to build a platform, like you were saying, and branding, like you were saying. And Chiro Hustle now is one of the most trusted brands in chiropractic. And it wasn't because it was easy. It's because we bootstrapped our way to the top. And that's why I really admire what you're doing as a student. And that's why I really wanted to pour into you and say, you know what, man, if you wanted to host me, I would allow that. If I wanted to host you, I'm going to get the best out of you. So with saying that, why have you invested in a quality setup?
Yeah. So, I always wanted to do, when I saw you doing Facebook Lives, when I saw David Toohill doing Facebook Lives, I was like, man, this is really going somewhere. And it's powerful too, because your reach on Facebook Lives is very, very far. And a lot of people like to think that Facebook is limiting it and all this stuff, but now they have watch parties. Watch parties notify all of your friends when you're doing watch parties. So there are specific things that you have to start learning and dive into in order to engage an audience and reach an audience. But the reason I built the platform of the Legendary Chiropractor and I invested into the equipment was mainly because I saw and looked up to the people who I was following, and I was like, I want to do that, right? I can do that. I want to do that. So I'm going to do that, and it was like, it's not that easy. Obviously, like you said, you bootstrap your way up to the top and you try your hardest and you grind every single day and you try new things and strategies, and some fall flat on their face and they do not work, but other things work amazingly. And you're like, holy cow, that just got 35 shares or that just got 100 shares. And you're like, what just happened? I don't even know what I said that was different than what I said 2 days ago. But you kind of do that. But to speak a little bit on the equipment side of things, this year, I know you have one as well, I think, is a Yeti. It's a Yeti podcasting starter beginner mic. It's the regular size one. I know they make a mini one now, but the regular size one is perfect. It works great. And I have a super booming loud voice too. So I'm able to kind of tone it down and hopefully make it sound better. So that helps a lot. And then obviously to hold it, I got the Yeti caster. And then I use my, I've had a DSLR camera for a very long time. And I figured out how to use it with using the platform or the software Go Live. I think it's called, Camera Live, and also Cam Twist. So those two programs run my DSLR camera as my webcam, which is pretty cool. So like if I'm looking down here, you're on my computer, but if I look up here, that's actually my camera looking at me. So it's kind of hard because sometimes people think I'm being rude and I'm like looking down. I'm like, no, the camera's up here. I'm over here. You're down here. I want to see you too, because I want to see your reactions and everything. So, but yeah, you got to invest in quality stuff if you want quality out of what you want to put out there, right?
Yeah, and back to what you were saying is there's no one right way to produce content. Like I use a webcam. I have a Yeti Blue mic. I thought that in order to brand heavy, that you should have your logo on the backside of all your productions when possible. I thought that when people see what we do, they recognize our brand, and we might not get the same reach as say like a Josh Axe, or we might not get the same reach as say like you mentioned a Chris Zano. But I will tell you that from a non-Chiro perspective, we have the most amazing reach, and our episodes are getting about 15,000 listens an episode. And that's not these live streams that we're watching, but these are actually flagship episodes. So I know that our first episode, if you want to think about it, we had 174 listens. Awesome. And the average podcast out there is getting 50 listens an episode.
Right.
So when we want to talk a 15,000, that's why we have sponsors like the Universal Traction System. That's why we have sponsors like Michael Tokash with Imaging Services. That's why people are supporting us, because we have fine-tuned this megaphone and we have fine-tuned this interview process. And we do know that people deserve to hear good quality content that's focusing on not only the students, but our sponsors, and not only that, but the giants in this profession. And if you guys want to see me feature somebody else on this live stream, put their name in the comments and I'll reach out to them. And before the year's over, I'll get them on the show. But I know that you wanted to kind of flip the script a little bit, and I was going to let you pull the opportunity of being the interviewer, and I'm fully positioned to take the role play of for the questions.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. So thank you so much for, kind of asking me a couple questions about the legendarychiropractor.com. Legendarychiropractor.com/mentor up is our free coaching and mentoring service. I just wanted to throw that out there for people if they are interested in that. And I actually want to touch on that real quick, Jim, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the legendarychiropractor.com/mentor up. It's a 100% free coaching and mentoring service. And I know that a lot of people have pushback about free stuff and value in chiropractic, and they kind of coincide together, and they're like, no, free is not valuable and valuable is not free and everything like that. And I don't disagree with that to a certain extent. But I also think that the docs and the students that we have on this mentor program who are volunteering their time, who are giving up their time for free coaching and mentoring are 100% worth it. And the value that you get is, and Jim and I talked a little bit off camera about this, the value that you get from mentoring and coaching is not what is in the program. The doc or the student or the person like Jim who built the program knows this stuff works, but it's the actual user of the content, of the script, of these different things that the mentors and coaches are saying and actually implementing it and taking action upon it that gives you those results, right? So you can pay $400 for a great coach, and I'm not discrediting that, or you can pay nothing for free mentoring and coaching as a student or a doctor, and you'll trade off value, obviously, but they'll offer different things. But you have to realize like what you do with that information is very powerful, and that can go a long way. So I wanted to just add that in quick because I think it's really important. Jim,
yeah,
how are you today? And let's flip the script here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Universal Traction Systems, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Everest Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Chiro Matchmakers, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Bax Max. Let's hustle.
I'm all for you, man. I think what you said is highly important. You have a high level of integrity, and the reason I like to bring on chiropractic students onto my platform is because I know you guys are the future leaders. And the people that have already seeded themselves into the profession, they already have a flow state that they're in. So I want to grab up the students as they're developing and say, you know what, we are the message that we should be transmitting to the ears, the eyes, and the hearts of this generation. And that's one of the reasons why I want to support you long term, because I know eventually you will be the guy that's on stage. You will be the guy that's creating the movement, and you will be the one that's bringing unity to the message of chiropractic. So that's one of the reasons I really support you, because I know that you're doing things to help so many people, and you're still in your fledgling state of 2.5 years into the program.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. That means a lot to me. Honestly, that's very nice. It's very kind. So with everything being said, you talked about marketing and brand. We talked about marketing and branding and starting a platform. Tell us a little bit about Chiro Hustle, where it came from, how it developed. You don't have to start from its birth year, but you can start, wherever, and share your experience with us throughout the chiropractic profession, because you are not a chiropractor. But you are a proud advocate of chiropractic, and I think that's important to touch on. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about Chiro Hustle, Jim.
Well, Chiro Hustle is something that I came into the marketplace with. We just recorded episode 105 today with Dr. Robert Kipp, who put this comment right there. We put out a show a week. Actually, what we're going to start doing is putting out 2 to 3 shows a week. I found that if I could just put out more content than anyone else, I could start controlling the media. And we're going to keep on lapping people. We're going to, one of the big things is to be a powerhouse, you have to be producing good quality stuff. You have to understand market. You have to understand marketing. You have to understand brand. You have to understand brand positioning. And you have to create consistency, like you were saying earlier. And one of the things that we've done is we just driven as hard as we possibly can. If there's an event, we go to it. If there's a hand, I shake it. I basically position myself as a chiropractic politician without believing in politics. And I believe that the more that we can get chiropractic and the message to live outside the 4 walls of chiropractic, we're going to start making an impact. And I think that that's really what we've done, is we had to just harness our ambitions and figure out how to build brand awareness, how to build a market share, and how to dominate the media. And I believe that once you have control of the media, the message that we put out there is bigger than the associations. It's bigger than the schools. And not to say I discredit either of those. I just know that once we have a non-biased contributor, we are going to create a message that doesn't have the same languaging around it that a chiropractor would try to stifle maybe. We've actually created a brand that is a free media movement that is controlled by its leader, which is me, the charismatic leader. And I think that I've been around so much of chiropractic over the past 10 years almost that I've been able to see the pain points in chiropractic. I see where people are winning. I see where people are hurting. I see where people are failing, and I see where people are thriving. And like you said, when you're in full agreement with your community, like at a Cal Jam or Berkshire's or Chiropractic Rocks or the next one or the next one or the next one, you start building yourself into a tribe of like-minded people, and they start championing you, and then you surround yourself with giants, just like Robert Kipp says. And when you surround yourself with giants, there isn't a hand right now that I haven't shaken in this industry that is a prominent leader or an up-and-coming star. And that's really what I think is more important, is just to build unity through the messaging. And it's not about your technique. It's not about the school that you went to. It's about chiropractic. And if we all go back to the baseline of the word chiropractic and support that word, then we have something that is very much appreciated by the people. And I'll tell you, the reason that we did it is because most people just don't know where to go or who to trust for their information. And we have a format that we've torn down the walls of confusion within the ranks of chiropractic circles. We've torn down every darn wall of division within different sections of the chiropractic industry. And now everybody's realizing that we fly the flag of multiple leaders in this profession, and we're not afraid of talking to anybody, and we'll talk to anybody. And whether you're the student, or whether you're the guy that's on the stage like Billy D, or you're Tim Young, or you're Paul Reed, or you're Danny Knowles, like those are the people that I build unity with because of our willingness not to give up. And that's what Chiro Hustle is.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that answer. And it's about, so the media, and I want to tie that into social media, right? How powerful is social media presence as a chiropractor, or as, in the chiropractic profession? How powerful is that for docs and for up and coming people, right?
Well, one of my mentors, Dr. Ed Osborne, said we're more alike than we are different. And that's really what I resonated with when I saw him come out at the Chiropractic Philanthropist a few years ago. He started his podcast exactly 2 years before I started Chiro Hustle. And, as I saw what he was doing, I really admired him. So I bought into his training. And one of the things I try to tell everybody is you have to be social on social, but build a strategy around it. Know what you're doing on Monday, build a strategy. Know what you're doing on Tuesday, build a strategy. And throughout the rest of the week, build your strategy out, stick to it. Maybe plans deviate with travel, maybe plans deviate with busy schedule, but always stick to the plan. And if you stick to the plan, one of my mentors, Larry Goodman, says, perfect planning prevents piss poor performance. And that's the six P's. So if you know that you need to be social on social, that's the other aspect of it. Don't just be one of those silent stalkers that watches people's newsfeed and don't comment to them. One of the things that will get us more ability to share our messaging, Johnny, is when these people are on here, like Brendan, share this, bro. Nicole, share this. And when people see that we are doing something that's something that they support, the easiest thing for us to do to get more viewers and more followers and more likes is to hit that love button, to hit that thumbs up, and to share these messages, because that's really where it's at, man. And anybody out there that wants to grow their own clinic, do a testimonial Tuesday. Figure out how you're going to brand your voice. Make little infographics that have your quotes with your picture. One of the things I said about 3 years ago is brand your own quotes, man. Like, that's one of the most powerful things you can do is spread your voice and spread your message. And, right now we could repurpose content that we've created for the next 10 years if we wanted to.
Right. Absolutely. So talking about branding and marketing, and obviously marketing your own clinic, talk to us about your newest endeavor, which is New Patients in a Box. I want to know a little bit more, but how can it help docs who might be struggling or not struggling, who are thriving, but just want that extra leg up, Well,
Johnny, I think the big thing is that everybody wants new patients. And I was working in a clinic out in Denver where it was like, I need more new patients. I need more new patients. I need more new patients. And if I hear that one more time, I was like, my head's going to explode. and I think that really people want chiropractic. They just don't know where to go or who to trust. So I developed a system and a strategy that's very old school marketing that takes a lot of grit, a lot of discipline, and a lot of work. But it's all based on the aura. And you have to create the aura inside of you of you get to do this. You don't have to do this. Yeah. And that person out there, if you don't tell them the truth about chiropractic, someone else will eventually mislead them with drugs or surgery. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those types of things. I'm the last to say that. But I will tell you that you should have a 2-doctor paradigm, one to keep you healthy and one to save you from dying. And if we took that paradigm seriously and we were able to speak our truth more effectively, that's really what New Patients in a Box is. It's a system that teaches people to go out to their community, tell the truth of chiropractic, and harvest people in and get people to stop, to talk to you. And then you can tell them, I can help you. And honestly, I think that most people just don't take initiative for their health and their family's health. I think it was the great Sigafoos or Gold that said, why would you come in to get adjusted and leave the rest of your family home to be sick? And and I think that when we talk about these dichotomies of paradigm, when it comes to bringing the family in, when we talk about making an offer to people, when we talk about the prospect, when we talk about the salesmanship, these are all things that we should be supporting. And when people do get into New Patients in a Box program, they get access to me, and I will be their charismatic leader, just like I've done for Chiro Hustle. And I know that I am a king of branding, and I'm a king of awareness. and that I positioned myself into this marketplace because I studied it long enough to know what the profession needed. And I was tired of seeing people struggling paying their bills. I was tired of seeing people struggling to make ends meet. I was tired of hearing about associates belly aching about their process of being taken advantage of. And I was just so tired of seeing this whole thing, of this whole mess of people trying to figure out how to make themselves successful. And I just spoke at Chiropractic Rocks, bro. And I said, if every chiropractic coach and every chiropractic guru used New Patients in a Box, they'd have the most successful programs out there, because their people that they had would be succeeding and they'd be thriving. And then they could use all those other skill sets that that coach or that guru or that college was teaching, and just make this a part of their core success model. And you can go out there and really, really enjoy what you do, and you can meet people where they are. And, you know, can anybody out there right now tell me you can go out tomorrow and schedule in 50 new ones? Probably not. Well, if you use New Patients in a Box, I guarantee you'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So talk about, I don't know, you probably talk about it in your program. So give us a little bit, maybe if you do talk about it in your program, what about patient retention? We always talk about getting new people in the door. How do we keep them there, right? And you might cover that. I don't want you to give away too much, but.
No, I'm going to let it rip, bro. I call it the human funnel system. I call it the human funnel system. The human funnel system is this: you have to have a lead generator, a lead magnet, and that's me. That's my system. But now you have to have a properly trained staff and a properly trained doc. And if you don't have proper systems and training for that second leg, then you're not going to do well at the system. So you have to know how to treat your prospect when they come in through the door. So there's different ways that you're going to get a prospect. There's going to be a different division of them, okay? So you can get the internet people, Facebook and Google. Obviously, those are different types of leads. You're going to get the people that I teach people how to do scheduling events. I don't call them screening. Screening is old school. It's draconian, and nobody wants to be screened, but they all want to be scheduled. Okay. So then you figure out the system of how to harvest your community with New Patients in a Box. And then you have to have a properly trained doc and a properly trained staff to know how to process and onboard a referral. So it's either referral, it's an internet person, or it's a scheduling event person. And then once you realize how to onboard that person into your systems, now you have to have a proper day 1 and day 2 strategy, which gets people to stay and you get them to close. And if you want to get the best in the business, reach out to the Close for Chiro group, or you reach out to the Everest training group, the Everest coaching systems. And I think that once you realize that you have to have a solid day 1 and day 2 at that, what we want to do is win the middle ground. What you're saying is, well, we want new ones. Well, what happens when they hit the door? Well, you have to win the middle ground. Winning the middle ground is not only being prepared, but also having the proper systems when somebody shows up, and then having the proper strategy when people come in for those first 2 visits. And then on the back end, they will stay, they will pay, and they will refer if you have a proper referral-based systems and a proper retention-based systems on board. So that's the human funnel system. And whether you're a new doc, whether you've been out there for 30 years and you're stagnated and you're stumbling, this system that I teach you will give you the resources for all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, Jim. You're doing great work. You're on fire for chiropractic, and I absolutely love it. I love your support. I appreciate you, Jim. And thank you for having me on today. And thank you for just providing a platform for not only students to go to, but docs to go to and rely on. And it's pretty powerful. So any action steps that people can take, Jim, for you?
I would tell people to never walk alone and to support somebody. And if you're a chiropractic student out there, I would say reach out to a mentor and take them to lunch at least once a week, maybe once a month if your budget doesn't supply that. But if you're a chiropractor out there, I would also reach out to your colleagues in your town that you practice in and take them to lunch, get to know them, and get to build a better community for yourself, because there is unity through diversity. And I told people this a long time ago, that if I go to you, you're going to adjust me different. If I go to the guy down the street, he's going to adjust me different. But what you guys do is one thing in common is you practice chiropractic, you locate, you detect, you correct vertebral subluxations, and you allow the body to heal from above down, inside out. So that would be an action step just for organic growth and, personal positioning. But if you guys wanted to check it out, I'll put the link down there for New Patients in a Box. We have a program right now that's a blinder. Like you pay $365, that's $1 a day for the next year. And I guarantee you right now, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you this 1,000 times. If you are not completely satisfied with my support that I give you in the program that I sell to you, I will give you your money back, because I don't want customers out there that I don't help. My goal is to raise up 300 people this year with new patients in a box. We have about 20 people in there right now. I just talk real numbers. By the end of this month, I want to have 10 more in there to where I can start doing my pilot trainings inside of that course. But I didn't want to start training people the wrong way and not having enough people in my pod. So if you guys are out there and you want to jump on board, it's $365. I'll put the link in the description or in the comments below. But I think that everybody out there that wants to get more certainty in their salesmanship and more certainty in their positioning, I don't make in this, I'm not throwing stones at anybody, but I don't use technology. I put gamification into the booth. I tell people that they're going to do a 1-question survey with me. I tell them what's going on, or they tell me what's going on. I tell them if I can help them. I mean, the whole process. I have 22 modules inside of my flagship training. And I just think that anybody that wants to have more certainty in their chiropractic salesmanship, reach out to me, buy the program. And I'd love to be your trusted resource to help you develop your strategies to get new patients. And then, like I said, the human funnel system's coming. I'm building that out right now. But I think that when we realize that old school marketing is the cornerstone for growth, right now, if they took away Facebook and Google, what I teach you will help you thrive and survive.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Absolutely.
If I could drop this mic, I would.
I love it. I love it, Jim. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for having me. Thank you for supporting myself, the Legendary Chiropractor, and everything that we're doing and trying to do. It's people like you. It's people like the folks that I mentioned in this broadcast so far that have really helped me get to where I am. And I wouldn't be anywhere without technology. I wouldn't be anywhere without honing in on my skills of taking all of the free content that you and all of these other docs and marketers are putting out there, sifting through it, taking what I like, leaving what I don't, and making it my own, right? Because that's what's most important. And without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and surround yourself with giants, but also allow yourself to build up to eventually become a giant, right? Because I think that's important too.
And the last piece of advice I'd give anybody is use discernment for your own success. And I would say that you have to distill down the ideas that you get from everyone and make them your own. So I just also want to thank our sponsor today, Jason Yeager, and the Universal Traction System. I'm going to put his link on the bottom of the screen again, and that is utsspine.net. Go over there, take a test drive of that website, and give them some love, because they love us and they love chiropractic. And is it okay if I go and close out now?
That's perfect, Jim. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for being with us today. Please give us some thumbs up. Please share this episode of the Chiro Hustle DC to B with Johnny Reuter. And you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. See you on the next one.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.